Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyaye sifunde incwadi ezibhalwe ngolimi lwethu lesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo. Le incwadi esuke sifundile sixoxela laba phela abangenaso isikhathi sokufunda incwadi nalaba abanqena ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama reality shows ethu ala Mzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama reviews or ama recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows siwabukele ku-TV. Uma ngabe kokuqala ngqa usijoyina namhlanje ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress usubscribe button la ngezansi if you really like our content ke kodwa uphinde futhi upress i-notification bell light uze kuka subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesi ufakile. Namhlanje na ngenza i-review show yethu laphana ebizwa ngokuthi Living the Dream with Somizi. It's episode 3 today. Honestly, I was so glad that there wasn't a lot that was said about Somizi's relationship or end of a relationship or end of a marriage because I'm over it. I'm so over it. Like if the show was going to be about that the whole season based on Bora. So I'm interested in other storylines honestly, because when it comes to my issues of his marriage, they are talked about a lot already, you know, outside of the show. So to have them talked about again on the show, kungabhora masekhulunywa ngawo wodwa. So now, like the first scene, it was Somizi. It's a phone call with his daughter, Uba Homie, and she is updating him on the conversation that she had with her mother. Remember, they had that conversation last week about the surname change, and it didn't feel like they understand each other's viewpoint. I felt like Uba Homie understands her mother. She doesn't agree with her, but I was feeling like her mother doesn't necessarily understand her, and I think that's the situation right now. So she wants to sit down and talk to her father about it. Honestly, you guys, like I said last week, I still don't understand why they did not fix this for Uba Homie while she was younger. I do not think that it was issues of imali, and I do not think it was into yokuthi they did not understand ukuthi ene ngokosiko fanele benze kanjani to change the surname kaba Homie. So I do not understand. I'm still watching the show trying to understand why they waited so long, and maybe sometime this season sizokwazi understand what was the reason that the surname was never changed. If Somizi, all that was required of him was ukuthi, why wouldn't he do that? And even right now, why wouldn't he just do that and get over, get over it and do it so that Ingani can change her surname, like honestly. And yeah, so yeah, that was the conversation. Somizi talks about how her daughter has a very, he says she has a very authoritative voice. But I think if you have a father like Somizi who does not struggle to express himself, you're always gonna know what he's thinking, what he's feeling. I feel like she has to be like that to be heard, naye. You know what I mean? And if she was timid in a way that she talks to her father might not hear her. So I feel like she doesn't have a choice. She has to be like that. Anyway, there is a Sia guy who brings flowers for Somizi because it's Somizi's birthday. I thought it was interesting that they were celebrating Somizi's birthday, but they also on this episode they celebrated Bahomi's grandfather's birthday. I don't know if they are born on the same day, but I guess it's the same month because they're celebrating around the same time. And he says Sia is just his friend. He likes bringing him flowers, but he says unfortunately he's straight. And he says Somizi being straight is the saddest thing. Maybe it is, guys, because trust me, like gays and lesbians and I always feel like they have such exciting lives. So maybe Somizi is onto something here when he says our lives are so boring being straight. But yeah, he says no, there's nothing Mona Bobabili. He's just a friend. Actually, he's a type of friend who will just bring you flowers just because you make him laugh that day. So And it's beautiful flowers. Oh, someone's been yo. It's beautiful flowers. Anyway, the next scene, it was Palesa Umagabahume. She is with a friend who is also a nail tech, I guess, because she is doing Palesa's nails. And she says that she likes Ulonun Tabi because it's a friend that she can talk to. I mean, I guess it's a name. As we all know, for reality TV shows, the scenes are all set up, so sometimes the conversation doesn't flow as much, because obviously when you're sitting as friends, you talk about things that naturally come up in conversations. But I think that because it's a reality show, sometimes you are told these are the issues that you need to discuss, and as a result, a conversation doesn't flow as much. And that was my issue with this conversation. First, Palesa mentioned it's been 10 years since she's been divorced. I guess after the relationship with Somizi, she got married, and then she got divorced from that relationship, because apparently with Somizi they were never married. Anyway, and then she talks about, and the lady asked, Somizi, that's where the conversation didn't flow for me, because Palesa was talking about the 10 years after divorce, so she's celebrating 10 years being divorced. And then the lady Untabi asked, Somizi has always been there for Ntabi, ne? You know, it just didn't. Why are you talking about Somizi and has always been there for Bahomi? Why are you talking about Somizi being there for Bahomi when she was talking about a divorce? So there for me, it didn't flow. Maybe they didn't edit it correctly. I don't know. But then she says, yeah, financially he was there, you know. And I mean, I could understand that, you guys, because obviously when Bahomi was younger, that's when Somizi was busy ngezinto zo Sarafina nabobani. They at some point they were in America and other countries as well. And so I can understand why he might not have been there for Bahomi, like physically and emotionally. But she's mentioning that, yeah, financially he was. And she starts talking about their relationship. Honestly, I really like this conversation when it came to her explaining her relationship with the Somizi, because we've always heard this idea Somizi, and Somizi has always said, I remember the first time that I heard him talk about the relationship with Palesa, he said that Palesa approached him. It's not like he liked Palesa. She approached him to say, I like you. You know, it was like Palesa uyena washela uSomizi. And he said that when ngekathi Palesa, he said to her, I'm gay, and Palesa said, I don't care. You know, I remember that. I don't know if it was in the interview, but a long time ago. The first time that I even heard Somizi has a child. That's why Palesa knew that he was gay, because that's the first thing that he had said to her, that I am gay. And she said she didn't care. So this conversation here, that's why it was important for me, because I feel like I get to hear the other side. Palesa says, it really hurts her feeling when Somizi says that she knew that he was gay. She says, number one, she did not even know what being gay was. She didn't know what being gay was. And then the next thing, she didn't know what being gay was. So there's no way that she would have known that he was gay. He says that she didn't know what being gay was. The first time that she was introduced to being gay was seeing Somizi, and it looks like it was after they had ilokuzana ingane Ubahome, that she got to understand. And she talks about having a conversation with Umaga Somizi, where Umaga Somizi explained to her, listen, Palesa, Somizi is not like other boys. You know, it's not like other boys. Right now, what you can do, and so that you can also move on with your life. It's like, that's where she really got to understand that Somizi being gay means that they can never really have a relationship, you know. And honestly, you guys, I feel like it's possible that both their version of the story is, because it was long time ago, I believe it was really honestly in their hearts, both of them, that's what happens. Because sometimes you can have an experience with somebody, but the recollection of the events is totally different. But I do feel like maybe it will help for them to have to sit down and have that conversation, because according to Palesa, she didn't know that he was gay. Even her understanding what being gay was at that time, she did not know. So she's hurt by the fact that she goes around telling people that she knew that he was gay. So she says it was the most confusing time of her life at that time when Somizi was coming out as gay. Here she is with a child. She thought she had this great boyfriend from Sarafina, but now she has to accept there's no relationship here because he is gay. And I can understand that, being a young girl, vele, when you had hopes of a relationship yakho nomuntu, but then all of a sudden this person is gay and you don't even know what being gay is, you know. So I can understand that, but she does say that was the most confusing time of her life. She talks about Somizi's 21st birthday. She says she was invited, she got there, and she was made to be Miss Party. And I guess all of those things would be confusing, because if we are not having a relationship, but then your family is out here as well, putting me there as Miss Party, as if, you know, I am your girlfriend, you know. But I guess both of them were trying to figure things out. They were teenagers. They were trying to figure life out. I don't think that Somizi was wrong. I don't think that Palesa was wrong. I think that the recollection of whether Palesa knew that he was gay or not, maybe they need to sit down so that they can have some closure. Maybe Somizi will say, no, but that's how I remember it, and it might not be. Maybe Palesa was in denial at the time. I don't know. But it's the story that they tell about how they met and how they ended up having a child together, and on whether Palesa knew if Somizi was gay is different. So I do think that they do deserve to just sit down and have that conversation. The next thing, it was they are in Sentin meeting with Vusinova because it's Somizi's birthday, going for the IV whatever shot, you know. And Somizi talks about how Vusinova is like the best gift giver. And so I guess he was supposed to go to the grave sites, and he didn't. So many says because Magneta une phobia yodaga. I think all of us have a phobia yodaga. And then they talk about, apparently he posted a video. That was the first time I saw that video. Posted a video of them hugging very intimately. Vusinova Benom Somizi, and they talk about how people from that video concluded what the two of them were dating. Honestly, they say that they're not dating, they will never date. Somizi says Vusinova is not his type. Vusinova says Somizi is not his type. I just wonder if nothing intimate has ever happened between both of them. But that is just me. It's you know, one thing umgosi. But yeah, I mean, I think they have a beautiful friendship. But then that's a thing, you guys. Somizi always have these friendships that you think, wow, what a lovely friendship. And then a few years later, there's a falling out. And then he's no longer talking to that friend, doesn't want anything to do with that friend. So I see it like 5 years from now. I see it happening with Vusinova too. Because remember season 1, how great of a friendship they had with Ulona, Titi, you know, with Unat. You know, where are all those people? People just always come in and out of his life. So even though it is a beautiful friendship that they have, I do have that at the back of my mind that it might not last, because it just looks like a lot of Somizi's friendships don't last that long. And then it was it lunch? I think they had a lunch, La Payana. Matisakwane, which is Palesa's home. So it was Palesa's father and the rest of the family, meaning Bahomi's grandfather from her mother's side. So they're just having, I think it was a birthday lunch. He's turning 73. He looks quite young, and strong. Ulona umkhulu. He doesn't look that old. Honestly, I thought, you know, it's so great to have him at that age and still looking like he is just fresh. He can walk, he can do things for himself. And so they just pray because they are about to eat, and they start eating. But then Palesa feels the need to bring the conversation about the surname change. Here's the thing, guys. I really thought it wasn't an appropriate time to bring that conversation. Had it been normal, like they're not shooting a show, it wouldn't have made sense for her to bring up that conversation, because it's a birthday celebration. The conversation about the change of the surname might upset some people at the table. It didn't make sense for her to bring it up. However, I do feel like it's a show. So if the cameras are there are people there from the crew that are being paid to shoot this scene already. So talk about the issues that make up the storyline on the show. So it made, in that sense, it made sense that she brought that conversation up. That's why they were supposed to talk about. That's why the crew was there to shoot that scene, you know. But Ubahoma was not happy because Umawake is bringing this topic at the table. Do you forget that you're shooting a show? Did you forget? Yeah, but she just felt like it wasn't an appropriate time to talk about it. She just wanted them to celebrate the grandfather's birthday. And she so Bahome asked grandfather, how does he feel about Bahome changing his surname? It's very clear, you guys. It's very simple what he says. You know what? Bahome is from a family that understands amasiko, meaning abantu bamhlongo, they understand amasiko, they understand how things are done. So they know that in order to change the surname, there are things that they need to take care of. They must take care of those things. And if Ubahome changes her surname without those things being taken care of, it might not go well for her. That's what he says. And so it was just a conversation was between Bahome and the grandfather. Bahome didn't comment. She felt like it wasn't the right time for her to comment because she didn't want it to turn into an argument, but she doesn't necessarily agree with what they were saying. And it made her sad that Umawake brought that up at the table. But I do understand, because they're shooting the show, she had to bring that up at the table. So yeah, the conclusion is that Abagamhlongo, they just need to do the right thing, so that Ingane can change the surname like she is supposed to. And until they do that, I guess Ugutumkulu will not give a go ahead in terms of like the change of the surname. The next thing, it was Somizi. The next thing was Somizi preparing for a birthday. They're doing mixing some cocktails for a birthday party. They're going to celebrate his birthday. Remember, he's gonna have his friends there, and he calls up Ep3, who is offering to do more cocktails, I guess. You know, for the party, I guess there's just a party. I can just imagine. But yeah, bengahalela lama drinks abebewa mixa laphayana. And yeah. Anyway, the next thing, it was Ubahome. We don't get to see the party really. I don't know if we'll see it next episode. We just see them prepare for the party. And then the next thing, it was Ubahome going to a gravesite, you know. Honestly, somebody did say in my comments that, you know, in watching Ubahome, we must remember that she's also an actor. I don't know, you guys. I usually just get the feeling, like when I was watching Somizi crying last week, I just got the feeling this is just for TV. You know, I don't know, but I'm saying, you know, if she's acting here, guys, she really is a good actress, like, honestly, because I feel emotional when with what she's going through, because honestly, I think she's feeling misunderstood, and her going to the graveside is just her wanting to see her grandmother. Remember, she did say in the first episode that out of everybody, the one person that would always understand her is her grandmother. And the fact that she's no longer around to have those talks with her, it's very sad for her. It's very hard for her. It makes life very hard. And so she's going there. And it was emotional because there's pictures of her with her grandmother there on the grave. And obviously, she can't really really talk to her. And yeah. I guess I understand. She just feels like she really just misses her grandmother, you know. And because I guess when she was feeling like she's not understood by her mom and her dad, her grandmother would be the person that would understand her. And on her mother's side, her grandmother is no longer living. It's only her grandfather. And I guess that is different. So, yeah, so it was emotional for her to go to the graveside. Gravesides are tricky, you guys, because yes, we're supposed to go there a lot, but it's difficult when you've lost a loved one. Graveside is like, it always just reminds you, listen, this person is gone, this is final, this is the only thing you have, you ever gonna have of them. So I imagine how hard that is for her. But that was the episode for today. They did show us a preview of what's happening next week. I guess that phone call between Somizi and Umamkhize, Ushoni Mkhize, is going to happen, where Somizi talks about Mohale wanting 50%. I think the 50%, guys, is just a lie. Because I've never heard Mohale talk about wanting the 50%. I've never heard Mohale talk about wanting a 50%. And the fact that they say Mohale couldn't prove. I mean, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Mohale couldn't prove that the marriage took place. You know that Jobangilocholiwe, I mean, I can take photos from Amalobolo or whatever negotiations and go home affairs and see, here are the pictures. I'm married. Me. I didn't do the big wedding like Somizi did. Somizi did the big wedding. On the show, their wedding special, they were saying, we are getting married. Apparently, he says they were shooting a movie. I mean, even now, he says he's divorced. How do you say you are divorced if you were never married? So I feel like, honestly, this will be the easiest marriage to prove, for Mohale. The fact that he didn't prove it, it means he didn't want it. I really feel like it's just a lie, this thing of Mohale wants 50%. It's just a non-existent storyline, honestly. And until I get some evidence that he really did try to get 50%, I don't believe it. But we're going to see that in the next episode, where he talks to Mamkhize about Mohale wanting the 50%. And then we'll see if we get some clarity there. Why does he think Mohale wants 50%? Anyway, you guys, that was the episode for today. This show is fun to watch. It's fun because it's beautiful. They go to beautiful places. You see their beautiful houses, so you get to live through them on the show. Like get to see how the celebrities live. Live. So it's a nice show. It's really nice to watch. So I will continue watching the show and doing the reviews. But please like the video before Npumegiona. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginethanda kakhulu.